right, welcome back to Dad's Financial Corner. My name is Fook, the proud dad of two crazy little boys, figuring out family finances for my family and yours. Thank you all who checked out my premiere episode last week where I talked about the options families have available for education savings planning. If you haven't watched it yet, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and check it out in the link below. Now, last time I briefly shared the four basic financial tools most folks use to save up for their children's future education expenses: savings bonds, ESAs, 529 plans, and cash value life insurance. Now, this week, I thought I'd share about what we did for our kids and the reason behind our choices. Like I mentioned last time, I've been working in the financial services for a while. When I first became a dad, it was actually one of my top goals to get started on saving for their education as soon as possible. At the time, we didn't have a lot available to set aside, but I knew that we just had to get things started, and that's the advice I give to everyone. Get things going as soon as possible and let compound growth be your friend. Before choosing what we would end up using, I first had to get an idea of how much we would need. So my wife and I made a few assumptions and some quick calculations. First, we made the assumption that by the time our son went off to school, we hopefully would be in a financial position where we wouldn't qualify for financial aid, which would be a good thing. We won't count on that at all. So next, we decided our goal would be to save enough for our son to attend 4 years of University of California public education. Now, and here's where my math degree comes in handy. At today's dollars, annually, that's about $14,500 for tuition and about $18,000 for room and board. Now toss in another $5,000 for expenses, and we're talking a total of $37,500 annually for public education. And that's not the worst of it. For 4 years, that means $150,000. Now I know what you might be thinking. $150,000? That's not too bad. I can save up that much if I start early. 18 years is a long time to put away money, right? Well, you know what? That 150,000 is in today's dollars. But the fact is, there's a boogeyman out there, and he's called inflation. And he's always out to get you. And he has a bigger, meaner brother out there named education cost inflation, which in recent history has been averaging at a clip that is about twice the inflation of the broader economy, or about 4.5 to 5%. That means in reality, what we'll really need by the time my oldest gets into college will be something in the neighborhood of 300,000 plus. Yeah, that's the look I gave my wife when I first figured out this calculation. I won't even show you the look on my face when 15 months later we had our second kid. Anyways, before we get into what we've done for our planning, I'm going to reiterate, I'm not promoting any particular product or company. I'm just sharing what we decided to go with for our family and some of the reasons why we felt it fit with our abilities and goals. If you're planning for your family, you need to consider the things that will play a factor into your family reaching your goals. For us, we decided to use a multi-pronged approach to saving so that we didn't put all of our eggs in one basket. The first thing we did, about a month or so after the oldest was born, was research and open up a 529 plan. I went with the California-based scholarship plan after researching about different plans offered in other states. I especially found savingforcollege.com useful, as well as articles from Morningstar and NerdWallet informative. Since I live in California, I wouldn't be able to benefit from any of those plans in the states where you can deduct your contributions. So those didn't really have any added benefit for me. And after comparing like various top 20 lists, the California plan at the time stood out consistently as a top 5 plan for low fees, user-friendly interface, and performance on multiple websites. Now, keep in mind, these plans and plan managers are constantly updating and improving their plan and their products. So I wouldn't necessarily have picked the same plan today. What I really like about the whole thing was how easy it was to set up, with no required minimums to start up, minimal fees, and a simple, intuitive website. Automatic contributions were also easy to set up, which I highly recommend for consistent, steady savings, and they had a decent selection of investment options for various levels of risk. But even better was that they have a lot of tools available for others to contribute to the plan, like gift certificates you can print and mail out during birthdays or graduations, and easy links you can email to friends or family members who want to give a gift, but know that you don't need any more toys to step on. The simple instructions make it really easy for your loved ones to make a direct deposit right into your specific 529 plan. And once your family knows you have a plan, if they're like mine, they remind me to send them the link whenever a celebration comes up. Now, since I was starting it early for my kids, We were able to consider a more aggressive approach to selecting investment funds, knowing we would have a long enough time horizon for funds to grow in the market and hopefully still weather any downturns that might occur. The main drawback I saw was that the funds had to be used for qualified education to get the tax free benefit. Even with all of our planning and hopes, there's no guarantee that any child would continue on to university. Or what if they qualified for a full ride scholarship and all of a sudden you're stuck with these funds that can't be rolled into a different type of savings or retirement plan or used for something else without having to pay taxes and penalties on it? This is why we chose to diversify our planning and use cash value life insurance as our other savings vehicle. Before having kids, I already had a life insurance plan that my parents started for me when I was 11, not really knowing how to fully use it. Even when I got into the industry, I didn't really learn their full potential until much later. And only when I was really looking into alternatives for education savings did I find out how useful and flexible cash value life insurance can be. Now, some of the things I like about it are that values grow tax free, funds can be accessed for any reason and at any time, tax free through withdrawals or policy loans that don't need to be repaid during your lifetime. Now, that means if I need it for education, I can use it for that. But if I don't, I can use it as an emergency fund or buy an investment property or even as a supplemental retirement fund. But if you think about it, it's a pretty unique tool in terms of its benefits. So, where's the hitch? If you're starting late and only have like 5 years left before you need the funds, it's probably not going to be enough time for it to grow, and the early life insurance expenses will really eat into your contributions. Also, not everyone can get it because you have to be healthy enough to be eligible and to qualify for a policy. Now, as our needs have grown, we've added different kinds of policies. I've mostly started off with what's called whole life insurance policies, which have guaranteed rates regardless of the market, so I have some protection from a market downswing. Also, policy dividends have allowed it to grow steadily over the years. Now, the average annual rate of return of these things won't really blow your socks off, but in general, it's a steady 2 to 4% rate. More recently, we've leaned into some more modern products called Index Universal Life Insurance, which offer market-based returns with a guaranteed minimum and a decently high return cap. I like these because of their flexible premiums and their growth is based on a market index like the S&P 500. But at the same time, it guarantees that if the market goes down, no matter by how much, it won't lose any of our accumulated growth. And that gives me a lot of peace of mind. Now, many of these products also offer optional living benefits in addition to the death benefit that I need anyways to make sure my family is taken care of. And in addition, some of our grandparents have started plans for their kids as well. And some of those should be fully paid up by the time they reach their college years. And if they don't use them, they'll just gift it to them so that they can use it to protect their own families when they grow up. Now, the other neat benefit of using cash value life insurance is that their values aren't counted as assets when you fill out a FAFSA application. So it's kind of like having your cake and eating it too. Like I said, this particular benefit wasn't really part of my consideration, but for some families, it would definitely make a difference. Well, those are our primary plans, and altogether, we probably direct somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12% of our take-home income to funding these. As a backup, we'll also likely have a lot of equity available in our home that we can tap if needed. But if you know that, they have a saying: "Man plans and God laughs." Well, when we were putting together all these plans for our kids when they were still infants, I can remember seeing them giggle and laugh hysterically for no reason whatsoever. Well, I imagine it was because we were doing all this planning for them and their future, and both of them were already laughing their tiny little baby minds, thinking to themselves, boy, do I have a surprise for them. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for listening to how our family plans to pay for college. I love to hear what you guys have set up for your family too. If you have any questions, please be sure to comment below or shoot me an email at dadsfinancialcorner@gmail.com. And of course, if you want to support Dad's Financial Corner, be sure to click that like and subscribe button. Now, until next time, I hope hearing about what we've done for our family helps all you dads and moms out there looking to make smart decisions for your family. Thanks.